Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today is Tuesday, which means I'm doing art around the world, and it is the month of July, which means we are doing Antarctica, and this is the final one, the recap. And I wanted to spend this time talking about one of the original artists who went to Antarctica, one of the older ones that I could find information about, and his name is Edward Wilson. So we are going to look at his polar art while we do this. So just bear with me as we talk and chat and I show you this collection. There's an additional collection. I will link everything I'm mentioning in the description box below. So he was born in 1872 in England, and these are really beautiful. At a very, very early age, he became interested in natural history and drawing. And at the age of 9, he told his parents he wanted to become a naturalist. And for those of you wondering what, a naturalist is, a naturalist is someone who makes observations between people and the natural world and the environment and how those things change. Think of Darwin. He is one of the more famous known naturalists. And I just think it's amazing that he knew at age 9 that that's what he wanted to do. He attended a college. He went to college. And it is one of the 31 colleges that make up the University of Cambridge. It is a constituent college of the university. He received a degree there, and then he went on to get his Bachelor's of Medicine from St. George's Hospital and Medical School. And he contracted tuberculosis before he finished. And while he was recovering, he spent months working on his art and his drawing skills. So when he finished his degree, which he did finish, he became a junior surgeon. So in 1901, from 1901 to 1904, Edward was a junior surgeon, a zoologist, an expedition artist on Robert Falcon Scott's expedition called the Discovery Expedition. So it went to Antarctica, and things took a really long time back then. It took months and months to get there. It took months and months to move around and get things done. And eventually he started to suffer from scurvy and exhaustion, and he went home. In 1910, Edward became chief of the scientific staff on the Terra Nova expedition. Here is one of his penguins. Isn't that absolutely adorable? And he led a winter journey to the emperor penguin breeding grounds to collect eggs for scientific study. So he wanted to study them, he wanted to draw the eggs, so they headed out. For reference, it was about 60 miles to do this, which is about 97 kilometers. And it was almost in total darkness. Here's an albatross. It's a wonderful bird. The temperatures were as low as negative 70 Fahrenheit or negative 57 Celsius, depending on which system of measurement you prefer. And it took them 5 weeks to do this. And that was about August. And later in the year, in November, he set off with 13 others to the South Pole. Now, it was very, very brutal, and he reached the South Pole with 4 others in January 18th of 1912, and they were bested and beat about 5 weeks prior, so they weren't the first ones to reach the South Pole. But the return back to base camp became too difficult. There wasn't enough food. Everybody was exhausted. there were tons and tons of blizzards, and Edward Wilson died March 29th, 1912, at the age of 39. Now I want to talk about his legacy. He was a prolific artist from these expeditions. He watercolored 200 paintings of birds, and I will link that. That is a different set of paintings. And he did 150 paintings he made in the Antarctic. The largest collection of his work is at the Scott Polar Research Institute, which is part of the University of Cambridge in the UK. And that is the website I am currently on and currently showing you, because these artworks are absolutely beautiful. And he has, there's a huge polar museum display here that has his other possessions as well. His journal is at the British Library. There is a Wilson. Let's see, there's an Edward Wilson Art Gallery and Museum, which is in his hometown in England, which I think is absolutely lovely. That has a bunch of his art. The first ship he was on that traveled to the Antarctica, the RRS Discovery, is a preserved heritage site, and visitors can access that. There's a statue in his name. There's a blue plaque. He received a medal. But I kind of wanted to talk about his art. And these are all watercolors. And these are absolutely beautiful. I think his landscapes are beautiful. I think his birds are really, really incredible. You really get the feeling of ice and cold when you look at these. They're great composition. I really love the coloring. Let's see if this one will load. There we go. This is a chunk of ice. It's a berg, an iceberg that was named. This is absolutely amazing, and they can use his journals and his art as references to a bunch of things going on in the South Pole. And they're so, so beautiful. I will link the Wikipedia page that has pictures of him. There were black and white photos of him and some of the gentlemen that he traveled with and did expeditions with. It looks really cold. I'm not gonna lie, it looks really, really cold, and I feel for all of them. And here he is, the portrait. Love it so much. It's fantastic. I think he's very skilled. There's Cape Evans. Gosh, that's beautiful. I love his art. I love that he was all these different things. He wasn't any one thing. He's a polar explorer, an ornithologist, which is somebody who studies birds, a natural historian, physician, and an artist. And I think his art does such an amazing job of speaking for itself. It is so, so beautiful. This is from the Terra Nova expedition. This is Mount Lister. The beautiful use of purple and blue, with yellow as a complementary color. These are beautiful, and there's so many of them. I will link them all if you want to look at them. Their polar collection has thousands of art pieces at this institute. I am just showing you his, but other gentlemen as well were on these polar expeditions that did some art. And there's one of his lovely penguins. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.